I'm here with Winterhaven Books to answer the question, what is your writing process? This is a tough question because it's a little bit like saying, what is your living process? I don't know that I have a grand plan for how to write books. I think that each one kind of is a different animal and has to be tackled differently. But I will try to pull out the universal things I do to get a book done. It really starts with the vision of a character and a personality that kind of starts manifesting itself and sticks around. Or it could be a place I'm fascinated with or a situation, but for me it's usually a character. The beginning of writing for me is pulling on that thread. Like there's something there that intrigues me and I hold on to that and keep pulling it toward you. And usually as I do that, more things will come into focus, whether it's the people that surround this character or what led up to this situation I saw. If it's interesting enough to me, slowly, maybe over weeks, months, or even years, depending on the idea, little pieces of this world come toward me and I kind of catch hold of them. When I really start to like them, I'll probably start writing anything down that's in my mind that I feel like belongs in this world. Once I have enough of these ideas and notes and pieces of the world, then I actually sit down and start putting it together into something that feels like a story, meaning I think it starts here and it goes somewhere we hit this point and somewhere we hit this point and perhaps it ends up over here. Even if you don't want to call it outlining, it is kind of like the broad strokes of who does what when, just so I can form the story in my head. Usually at that stage, so many more ideas come into play and kind of get put in different places in my mind or on this timeline or outline or however I decide to do it. And then at a certain point, you just have to take that leap off the edge of the cliff into the dark abyss of unknown and start writing. Maybe that's actually what Winterhaven Books is asking me about, is like, once you start writing, what do you do? But I feel like that earlier part is really where the book is born and comes to life. Pulling that thread towards you for me is how I start to know that I have something that's good enough that I want to tell other people about it. So I hope that gives a little insight into the writing process. And I actually do a weekly video called 1 Question, 2 Minutes, where I take up questions readers ask me about writing and publishing and editing and all that stuff. Or you can send me your own question for me to answer in the future. Thank you very much to Winterhaven Books for having me, and thank you for watching. Seeker is the story of 3 teenagers who've spent most of their lives training for what they think is a noble purpose, to be seekers, only to discover that their families are actually turning them into assassins. In Traveler, as they try to break away from this fate, or maybe embrace it, they discover that the world of seekers is larger than they'd realized, and they become entangled in a plan begun generations ago that immediately threatens their very survival.